everybody, and welcome to the Railsplitter Athletics Report. I am your host, Rusty Peace, and we are cruising right along through the month of March as we have now closed out the 2013-14 winter sports season with both the LMU men's and women's basketball teams completing their year, and now we concentrate solely on the spring sports at hand. For those of you who are joining us, thanks first of all to Adam Haley for hosting last week as I was on the road with the LMU men's basketball team, who completed their 2014 season in the semifinal round of the 2014 NCAA Southeast Region Tournament. Railsplitters finished the year 28-3. They were ranked number 7 nationally when they were knocked out of the tournament, beaten by number 18 nationally ranked Montevallo, who eventually lost to region champion, number 6 nationally ranked University of South Carolina Aiken, who goes on to represent this region as the Elite 8 winner. We will talk with Travis Muncy and Benny Collins in tonight's show, and we'll look at baseball a little bit later on. Stay with us here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
If you love your car or truck, let us help you keep it clean at Soapy J's. Soapy J's has unlimited wash plans to fit every budget. Try our $5 express wash or one of our 3 monthly wash plans. The Wheel Deal, the Soapy J, or the new Blast Wax. With our monthly wash plans, if you pay with credit card, all you do is pay for the present month and your card will be billed on the 1st of each month. Don't forget Soapy J's has free vacuums with any wash. Soapy J's Express Car Wash, open 7 days a week. Let us help keep your car or truck clean at Soapy J's. Soapy J's on the Cumberland Gap Parkway, Middlesboro.
The J. Frank White Academy is more than a high school. Your child will have room to grow in mind, body, and spirit. Small, safe learning environments, individualized learning plans, and cutting-edge technology. Every child deserves a quality education in a safe, nurturing environment.
Our college prep program teaches a love of learning, self-discipline, and service to others. The Academy is fully accredited by Advanced Ed. You have a choice at the J. Frank White Academy.
Since 1973, DeRoyal has been a leader and an innovator in manufacturing products for the healthcare industry. DeRoyal supplies more than 20,000 products and product lines such as acute care, orthopedics, wound care, and trauma. DeRoyal is proud to be the largest supplier of orthopedic soft goods to clinics and hospitals in the nation. Since its start in Tazewell, Tennessee, DeRoyal has grown to open factories in over 29 locations worldwide and employs over 2,000 people. DeRoyal, a name you can trust and an employer you can count on.
Looking for efficient, compassionate, and comprehensive health care for you and your family? Visit University Medical Clinic. All providers are faculty members of LMU's DeBus College of Osteopathic Medicine and are board certified in their specialty. Multiple specialties available including family medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, and osteopathic manipulative medicine, with locations in Harrogate, Tazewell, and New Tazewell, and most insurance plans accepted. University Medical Clinic is here to serve you. Call 423-869-7193 for an appointment. University Medical Clinic.
Welcome back to the show. You know, finally, weather throughout the area has become a little conducive to the point where golf can get out on the driving range and on the course and play some actual outings this year. For Travis Muncy and his teams, they've been all over the Southeast United States already this season, but finally the snow has, at least for the time, we hope, has moved out of the area. And Travis, I know that the last time we had you in here, you were a little beaten and banged up, but all in all, your team has had some success. They got off to a slow start in the J. Hargett Memorial Invitational recently, but finished strong in that second round and really made a great showing.
Yeah, we got off to one of our worst starts again when I think we take the bad weather with us where we went. We was over at Pinehurst this past weekend, and we started the day out sub-freezing temperatures in the rain, sleet, and was scheduled to play 36 holes the first day, and it got cut to 18 just because the weather was so bad. And we posted 315 that first day. A little rocky start, was in 7th place after the first round. But we came back, regrouped, and still the same weather the second day. We started out with freezing rain starting out the day, and we posted 297, moved from 7th to 2nd, past Wingate and a bunch of conference schools that second round.
I'm going to approach this a little differently today than we usually do when we come in here and we have our conversations on the show. Travis, you've been in the head coaching position here at Lincoln Memorial for quite a few years now. Mm-hmm. What has been the most difficult thing for you since you've come in as head coach to adjust to with being a coach on the collegiate level?
Well, you know, it's just you're an individual sport. You know, golf is one of those individual sports. Somebody may not feel right that day, or have something comfortable on. I mean, it's just so personalized, with that individual sport that something could throw one person off and can throw, it's just sort of a chain. We can only have 2 guys play bad out of the 5. You can't substitute in our sport. So, just coming over adversity is the biggest thing with coaching. And, this weather, this has probably been one of the most trying springs this year with the weather. I mean, we've played in more freezing temperatures this one semester than I have in probably my whole college career coaching. So, it's been a tough season, and just getting the guys motivated to go out into it. I mean, I didn't want to be out there, but I can't show that. But, they really don't want to play in that because, most of the people that play golf will not go out and play in weather like this. So, keeping the guys motivated, focused on what we're doing, and just getting prepared for it is the biggest thing.
All things considered, the weather, graduation of players, recruiting of new players, freshmen, injuries, ailments, sicknesses. Through all that, you've managed to capture several conference titles since taking over as head coach here at Lincoln Memorial. As a coach, I know all coaches have to deal with the recruiting game. You have to, players graduate, players come in, but that's got to be frustrating because you build a championship caliber program, you capture that championship, and then now you're in some cases reloading stage, in some cases rebuilding stages.
Well, some years are easier to reload than others. Fortunate with golf, we do play some other matches for the guys that are on the starting 5, so that helps us to build those players to ready to transition into the top 5. We've been very lucky with that, and we have guys that are in the midst or standing back there on the standby that can step in there at a moment's notice. I probably got 9 guys that are all good players. They could probably play starters for other college teams, but they choose to be here. And any of those guys could step in at any moment, even with the girls too. Those players are standing back there waiting for their chance or their spot to take that role as a leader.
A lot of people would look at it and say, well, it's golf. How do you sustain an injury in golf? But it happens.
It does. Back injuries, hand injuries, wrist injuries, rotator cuff, knees, blisters on your heels. I mean, there's a multitude of things. And, if you're not comfortable in golf, you're not going to play good in golf. So, any kind of ailment can bother you in the game.
What's the biggest thing, men or women, that you've had to deal with? I mean, a lot of times, you'll be laying 2, you're right off the green, you're kind of in between clubs on that 3rd shot. Maybe you try to muscle up a little bit too much and get it there, and you wind up messing up that last shot. That's a hard thing to communicate to an 18 to 22-year-old kid sometimes, that, hey, don't try to go into the hole right there. Let's just get it close and put it in and go in for par.
That's one of those good things about coaching, because we're out there with them and we can communicate, tell them what to hit, motivate them where we can, and it's just one of those to play smart, especially in this spring season where the weather's been so awful. The wind is your friend, as they always say, and that's why you try to communicate to them. And don't muscle through the wind. You just take a club up and just hit it through the wind. So,
if I were a collegiate golfer on your team and I had very limited experience in terms of tournament play or match play, what piece of advice could you give me that would be the biggest benefit to my overall game?
I would tell you, get as much experience as you can. Go play the summer tournaments. Play a full schedule during the summertime. Play as many events. I don't care if it's at your home club, through the local golf associations. Play as many events as you can to subject yourself to those conditions of tournament play. I mean, going out and playing is one thing. Playing under tournament conditions and knowing people are counting on you is another.
Do you feel like that's the biggest key to being a successful collegiate golfer?
Yes, having the experience and doing what's needed to be done. And you got 5 guys out there playing. In the back of their minds, they know one can play bad and still win, but you have more than that, and you can't compete. But so both teams, especially with the men, this is probably one of the most talented teams I've had the honor of coaching from top to bottom. I mean, I've got a lot of talented guys on this team. We're young, but we're talented. And 1 through 5, and in collegiate golf, that's where in our division, where most programs struggle is in that 4 and 5 spot. I feel like I got a 5-man as strong as my 1-man. So, we're in a good spot right now with the men.
So many people play golf as a pastime. One of the reasons I gave it up is because I'm so competitive that I can't stand to go out there and get my rear end handed to me every day. And I don't have the money or time to go out and play enough to get better in order to play the way I'd like to. I can see what you're saying is, by doing those things, playing throughout the summer and every day you can, helps to build consistency. But certainly there has to be a level of this game that's mental. How much of it is mental?
90%. That's what I was talking about before with the bad weather and things like that. You mentally got to be prepared for it. Golf is such a mental game, and I've seen guys that maybe not be hitting the ball as well, but they talk themselves into a good round and go out there and motivate themselves to play well. And and that's the name of the game, is consistency, men and women. And we've shown some signs of inconsistency, but we've shown some signs of great play. But with the men, they've won 4 tournaments this year, is our season, our record high for the team. This spring season we've won 2 and come in second in 1, and well, we won't talk about the Rendleman.
Well, we've got very limited time remaining on today's show, but Travis, with golf, the season flies by very quickly in terms of the spring schedule because you only play roughly once a week. So with what we have ahead of us, what can we look forward to in terms of the women's and men's teams?
Well, the women, we leave tomorrow for Pinehurst. The weather's going to look a little better than we had last week with the men, and we're looking really well. We're getting healthier with the women. We've had a few beats and bangs with them. I think we're looking pretty healthy there. So I'm looking for a good showing with the women this weekend. We've got a couple more. Each team has one more event before the conference championship, second week of April.
Well, definitely with March being midway through now, we've got April, and then, of course, graduation is in May. If the teams are real lucky, they're still playing at that point in the year in terms of the spring sports, but, that would take them on into probably the national tournament. Travis, congratulations on a great start this year. We look forward to the rest of the season, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. We're going to take a time out. If you'd like more information on the LMU golf teams, pull up the LMU Athletics website, www.lmurailsplitters.com. We'll take this time out and be back with Benny Collins here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
Top off at mycokerewards.com.
No matter whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Subway of Harrogate and Middlesboro has your fresh interests at heart. On your way to work, try one of our mouth-watering breakfast sandwich or flatbread omelets. If it's lunch or dinner time, choose from our wide selection of classic, select, or premium sandwiches, all made to your order. If you're serving a crowd, Subway has sandwich platters, giant subs, box lunches, and even cookie platters. Whether it's dine in or carry out, you can eat healthy and eat fresh at Subway. Subway, 362 Catawba Avenue in Harrogate and on the corner of the Village Square Mall, Middlesboro.
It's the Old Town Grill.
The Old Town Grill is a special place where you bring more than family, more than friends. Bring a hearty appetite, because at the Old Town Grill, you'll never walk away hungry. A delicious change from the ordinary. The perfect place to bring the entire family. The best food and plenty of it. Join the fun and treat your appetite to something special.
It's the OTG.
The OTG is the place to be.
I will help families adopt children from around the world and in our own backyard.
I am teaching ethics to the next generation of lawyers.
I will make a difference for the underserved of this region.
I will be an advocate for my clients.
As a prosecutor, I fought for those who couldn't speak for themselves.
I'm a lawyer and professor.
I will be a lawyer.
I will be a lawyer.
I will be a lawyer.
Welcome back to the Railsplitter Athletics Report. Thanks to Travis Moody of the LMU Golf, or Muncie, beg your pardon, of the LMU Golf Program for joining us for today's show. Now Benny Collins of the LMU Men's and Women's Tennis Programs joins us. And, over the last few years since Coach Collins has taken over the program, both teams have captured conference tournament and regular season titles. This year, however, both teams have found that the South Atlantic Conference is tired of being the weak sister. They are stepping up their game, and the Lady Railsplitter and Railsplitter tennis teams have found that life in the South Atlantic Conference is much tougher this season after capturing a men's title a year ago.
You've got that right, Rusty. You know, I've told Roger Vanoy the other day that the SAC has become a hotbed for the tennis, you know, anymore. I mean, the level of tennis has really stepped up. You know, we've got Coker in there now. We've got Queens in there now. You know, Coker's got one of the best men's teams in the conference. Queen will be very solid on the men and the women. And, you know, you basically brought in a Slash, another Wingate, another Anderson into the conference as far as tennis is concerned, you know. So the level of competition has really gotten tougher each year that I've been here. You could take the teams I got now, even though the men's beat up, and 3 or 4 years ago, they'd still been able to really do a good job. But the level of play is really tough.
When you talk about our two tennis teams, you know, the men's team, obviously, with injuries, that's going to take its toll on any team that's out there. When you lose a player like Philip Hoffman from a year ago, arguably the best player ever to play tennis here at Lincoln Memorial, that's going to take its toll on the team at the top of the end of the squad. With the women, though, you've been in the game long enough that you know talent when you see it. You know what players to recruit. You know what it's going to take to compete in this league. And you even mentioned before the season got started that from 1 to 4, you felt like we were stronger than we'd ever been since you'd taken over the program. Now, that said, sometimes there's just nothing that's going to take care of individuals who are freshmen or who are very inexperienced on the collegiate level.
You know, I'll take it another level. You know, 1 through 6, we're as strong as we've ever been. And, you know, but we have 3 new incoming freshmen. And a couple of these girls are learning how to win matches, what it takes to win matches. You know, they come in off their junior circuit that they played, and they actually could go out and just beat people by hitting winners. Well, at this level, the ball keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. You have to learn how to win. You don't try to win the point. You try to make your opponent lose the point. And they're doing so much better. Each match, you know, I told you earlier in the season, we need match experience. You know, we couldn't get enough practice time on the courts January, February to practice enough against each other, play each other, to really get the play time we needed. But now they're doing that, and the women are holding their own. You know, we're still one of the strongest teams in the conference, women-wise. We've got a window of opportunity here to get the men well. You know, we're on coming up on spring break. We don't play to the end of spring break. That's going to get these guys, some of them that's not been in the lineup. I'm hoping to get a guy back in that's dynamic doubles players for us, and if he can just play doubles, we may go to singles on him. That's going to give us another weapon. We've got our number 2 guy. He's pulled a stomach muscle. He's serving underhanded. Hopefully this time off will let him heal that stomach to where that, you know, he'll be back full power. I mean, you can't play at the number 2 position serving underhanded. They're going to tee off on the return every time, and you're going to be, you know, dealing from the bottom of the deck with nothing there. So, you know, we're banged up on the men. The women are pretty strong. Nobody's hurt, and they're going to be really competitive at the end of the season.
I want to go back to that comment that you just made about the adaptation that the freshmen have to make to the collegiate game from the club circuit. If I hear you correctly, basically what you're saying is they've been able to win the point or the match by putting that opponent away. Now they have to kind of step back, play defense, just be consistent with getting the ball returned, and then either wait for them to make a mistake or know when that point is where they can put them away.
Exactly right, Rusty. You've got to stay patient. I tell them all the time, stay patient in the point, stay in the point. When the right ball, you get the right short ball, then you come in, you try to put a lot of pressure, try to hit that winner. But what they try to do is they were able to do that as a junior. They could come in on a lot of balls and hit winners. And, you know, it comes back at this level. You know, you're 17, 18 when you get here as a freshman. You're playing a girl that's 21 and she's a junior or senior. It's pretty tough. So that ball keeps coming back, and you have to be very patient.
Okay, so with what you're telling me now, we've got a great freshman class. We've got a very early, very good young class of players, 1 through 4, 1 through 6. Now with the change in the rules with the South Atlantic Conference over the period of the next 3-4 years, many of the schools are going to be increasing their scholarships across the board for men's and women's tennis, which is going to make the league even stronger, and that includes Lincoln Memorial. So with that, not only are these individuals going to have to adapt to the club sport, to the collegiate play, they're going to have to adapt to playing a much stronger lineup.
You know, LMU tennis is going into a new direction with this scholarship limitation being raised to the full max of the NCAA limit. We'll be looking at a different player. We're going to be looking at players that are like Peach Belt players. We're going to be looking in 3 or 4 years when we get this all the way to the full limit. These players that we're going to be looking at are full scholarship players that can flat out play, and that's what a lot of them, you know, they tell you right off the bat, hey, if it's not a full scholarship, I'm not coming, coach. So we will no longer have to piece together all these academic and all these other awards and all this. We can still use the academics, but all these other in-house things, money we used to get, that'll no longer be in the equation. And so what's going to happen, starting now, the girls are going to fast track a little quicker. They'll get their scholarships built up much quicker than the boys. So the girls are going, and we've already done that. You know, we've got money this year that we brought in the 3 freshmen, and we'll be able to bring in some really strong players this next year for the girls. The guys are going to move a little slower, but we're going in the direction of basically very powerful, very strong, tough guys. And, you know, if you're on the team now and these new guys come in, you move down to a more playable position if they can beat you out for that position.
When we're on an even plane with conferences in our region, Conference Carolinas, Peach Belt, other South region programs like the Gulf South Conference,
Right.
et cetera, Sunshine Conference. Obviously, the elite tennis programs in this part of the country are down there in the Florida area and the South Georgia area.
Sure.
When we're on that even plane with them in terms of scholarships, in many sports throughout the Peach Belt and the Conference Carolinas, et cetera, the Gulf South, they give Pell Grant to a lot of sports. Does that really affect tennis?
I don't think it's going to affect the tennis as much as because most of my players are international players. And I don't know if that'll work into the equation as far as the Pell Grant for me. I know a lot of sports, basketball, football, baseball, whatever, with the American players, I'm sure that will work into the equation.
Well, we know that the South Atlantic Conference, at least for the time, does not give Pell Grant to any of its student athletes. That is a grant that is based on, I think, need, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
So and I'm stereotyping here, and I do apologize for that. In most cases, most tennis players are not student athletes that are come to school based on need. They're student athletes that parents make enough money that they can send them to school outright and pay for it financially. But as we all know, a lot of us went to school. We didn't qualify for a whole lot of financial aid because our parents made too much money to qualify for that financial aid, or not enough to send us to school without taking out certain loans. But,
that's correct.
All right, Coach, we got less than 2 minutes. You've still got a pretty big schedule in front of you, both in conference and non-conference. Tell us what we can expect from your teams over the next few weeks.
Well, you know, we're going into a spring break. They're off for a few days for spring break. They come back Wednesday. We start practice back on Thursday. We leave Thursday night. We go down and play Queens and Catawba on that trip. We come back and immediately leave on Sunday, going to play Anderson. And so we come back from that match the next day and we play Brevard. You know, with all this bad weather, we've had to reschedule, and it's coming down to where we're going to be really thrown against the fence as far as playing a lot of matches. But it's going to help the men being like that because maybe we can get well enough to get out there and be competitive. And it's hard to keep these guys motivated. Them half of them hurt, and you know, and you get beat sometimes. So it's going to be my job to get them back up and get them running, get some motivation going on that men's team. The girls they're going to do fine. The girls are going to be right there when tournament time. I look for them to be as good as anybody out there. You know, we've got some really strong teams. Wingate's one of the top teams in the nation now. They beat some of the bigger teams in some of the other conferences. So, you know, they're the girls' team to beat, and you've got that strong Tusculum team. Boy, they're good. And, you know, and Newberry, you know, Newberry's really tough. So 1, 2, 3 right there, and then I think we're going to end up the fourth seed in the tournament, is what I'm thinking.
Well, before that, the LMU tennis teams will scatter to the 4 winds for spring break, and I know that's a coach's nightmare just worrying about them. Coach, again, congratulations on a great start. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you,
We'll
Russ.
talk to you again soon.
Okay.
All right, Benny Collins of the LMU men's and women's tennis programs. Take another time out, and we'll be back to talk about baseball here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
I deal with life and death situations.
We touch a lot of lives every day.
People's lives are in your hands.
I will be a nurse.
I will be a nurse.
The Duncan School of Law at LMU, where innovative teaching meets cutting-edge technology.
If you love your car or truck, let us help you keep it clean at Soapy J. Soapy J's has unlimited wash plans to fit every budget. Try our $5 express wash or one of our 3 monthly wash plans. The Wheel Deal, the Soapy J, or the new Blast Wax. With our monthly wash plans, if you pay with credit card, all you do is pay for the present month and your card will be billed on the first of each month. Don't forget, Soapy J's has free vacuums with any wash. Soapy J's Express Car Wash, open 7 days a week. Let us help keep your car or truck clean at Soapy J's. Soapy J's on the Cumberland Gap Parkway, Middlesboro.
We represent the Coke brand, and we would love to somehow bring some kind of legal action against Coke Zero.
There might be some taste infringement issues.
There's really no legal concepts of a company bringing a lawsuit against itself.
If this is the king of the jungle, they're acting like the toucan that's on the branch, real colorful and preening, and showing off, and hey, look at us. I want to take a stick and knock that toucan off the branch.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. One of the area's best-kept secrets when it comes to piping hot fast food is World of Wings Cafe and Wingery, located in the LMU Campus Center. No matter whether it's chicken tenders, chicken wraps, burgers, or hot wings in a variety of flavors, WOW has a menu that's second to none. Try one of our fantastic sides like our fried mushrooms, fried pickles, mozzarella sticks, onion rings, our famous cheese fries, sweet potato fries, or our Texas toast. Shock your taste buds at WOW World of Wings Cafe and Wingery, located in the LMU Campus Center.
Again, special thanks to both Benny Collins and Travis Muncie, our coaches from the spring sports of men's and women's golf, men's and women's tennis, for joining us tonight on the show. But that's not all that's going on right now. In addition to the LMU basketball team and closing out the 2013-14 season, both teams for that matter, the women and the men, LMU baseball and softball are in full swing right now. And in fact, the baseball team was in action on Wednesday at the Lamar Hennon Field. The Railsplitter baseball team surrendered a season-high 18 hits and 17 runs as Young Harris's Mountain Lions scored in each of the first 6 innings to hand LMU a 17-9 loss in NCAA Division II regional baseball action at the Lamar Hennon Field. With the loss, the Railsplitters fall to 16-10-1 on the year while remaining at 10-4 in South Atlantic Conference play. This Friday and Saturday, the Railsplitters return to league action when they host the Tornadoes of Brevard College. That's in a 3-game set that gets underway at Friday at 4 o'clock on the Lamar Hennon. Saturday's doubleheader of a 9 and a 7 gets underway at 1 p.m. on the LMU campus. And the Railsplitters right now are cruising at 10-4 in league play, so we certainly hope that they're able to maintain that strong start in league action in defense of their 2013 NCAA South Atlantic Conference tournament title. That was the first conference tournament title, by the way, by the LMU baseball team since 1959. So they got a lot to play for this year. But in reality, the LMU baseball team bouncing back from having lost 11 position players a year ago. So it was a stacked deck from the start, but they've done quite well. Now, Natalie Layden and her team also doing quite well. They split a doubleheader this week with Tusculum College. That was LMU's first loss in league action, so that puts them now at 3-1 in the South Atlantic Conference. They've got both conference and non-conference games scheduled for the upcoming week, and spring break is one time when you don't see a whole lot going on the LMU campus, but the spring sports are still in schedule for the most part. LMU baseball and softball teams either play here at home or travel down to the warmer states like Florida or South Georgia or something of that nature, but you can bet that they'll be in action. There'll be no spring break for them as they have to practice at the very least. That's all the time we have for tonight. We're going to be back again next Thursday. We hope that you'll join us. Until then, I'm Rusty Peace for everybody behind the scenes of the Railsplitter Athletics Report. Good night, everybody.